Hello and welcome to Pleasantview. My name is Sissy and today we're going behind the scenes in my brand new Pleasantview save file. We're here with Don Lothario and I'll be showing you all the details relevant to his personality and trajectory in this neighborhood. So, let's go. You may recognize the structure of his condo, but we're going to take a quick tour so you can see the inside renovations, paying special attention to a few mod items I've added. Then, we'll look at the makeover Don has gotten using my hair and clothing default replacements, as well as his lifetime want, 3T2 traits, turn-ons, and other such sim-specific details. So, let's go. First things first, let's take a look inside. Of course, Don has to have a mailbox shelf to put bills on because I hate when they carry them inside and put them somewhere that I can't find later. When you walk inside, Don has a little nook area here, and we'll come back to these at the end of the tour, but Don is in quite a bit of debt. This is his educational debt, and he has a mortgage. When you go to the right, Don has a nice little seating area and a tiny little kitchen. It works for him, and I love the black interior. Downstairs, he has an open entryway into the living room with a quite appropriate painting in my opinion, and a giant TV, which seems perfect for Don. On the other side of the hallway, Don has a bathroom. Pretty basic, just a shower stall, a toilet, and a sink, and of course a mirror for him to gussy up in. Let's go upstairs. At the top of the stairs, you'll see Don's bedroom, which is very purpley, pink, wild, and perfectly Don in my opinion. I love what they did to the floors. This condo renovation is of course part of the save file that I download with this fixed Pleasantview, with all the lots remade CC free, but using items from all of the expansion packs. I'll link to that in the description below if you're interested. If we go out to the deck, Don has a little seating area, an exercise bike, and of course his telescope, and more exercise equipment. Further upstairs, Don has his rooftop hot tub and his bar, and a beautiful view from his condo. I mean, who wouldn't want to live here? Hot tubs, telescopes. There's the Caliente house right there. I of course also gave Don a utility box so that we all have electricity in this house, and I forgot to show you his laundry hamper, tucked over here in the corner. Now, going back to Don's debt, I gave Don a college degree, and although his parents may have given him some money for college, I don't know that they would have been able to pay for it fully outright, and I don't think Don is really that concerned with making a bunch of payments right off the bat. So he has $10,000 in college debt, which is half of what it costs to go to university in my neighborhood. On the left-hand side here, we also have a loan jar. This loan jar is for Don's mortgage, because although he is early in his medical career and he has a college degree, Don isn't that far into his adult life stage, plus he was in college most of that time. So I don't think he would have been able to buy this condo outright, especially if any money he got from his parents went towards funding part of his education. So his total net worth is about $66,000, and so I gave him a mortgage of $50,000. So he would have been able to pay for part of the condo, or he's made some payments, but he does have $50,000 in debt from buying this condo, and of course furnishing it with things like exercise equipment, expensive telescopes, hot tubs, and a giant television. Those are all things that I don't think someone fresh out of college would be able to afford on their own. And since it's not implied that Don is from Pleasantview, I don't think he inherited this house from his parents. The way that I do loans, you'll see more as I play through the series, and you can give me your feedback on that. But depending on the type of loan, I change the interest rate. For mortgage loans, I use 3%, and I have interest accrue daily for all types of loans. Education, mortgage, business, etc. But the percentage of interest changes based on the type of loan. So Don's gonna rack up some pretty hefty fees quickly, but luckily, he's on track to pay it off, considering he's got a decent job, he's about to marry into a very wealthy family, and he has a lot of skills from graduating college. So let's take a look at Don's makeover, and then we can look more at what else I've done with him. Oh, Don, always thinking about romance. Let's take a look at his makeover first. I'll have him gussy up, check outfits. Now I'll admit, I had a hard time with Don's everyday outfit. I think I need to download some more clothing. I seem to have 2 styles of adult male outfits, plus a few polo shirts. But I couldn't find something that I thought was overwhelmingly Don, so I may need to look for that. I think he looks dashing. Don will become an elder in 27 days. His lifetime want is to have 10 simultaneous lovers. I wonder if that should say loves. In order to have 10 simultaneous lovers at once, Don's gonna have to work pretty hard to not get caught cheating, otherwise people are gonna fall out of love with him pretty quickly. So I think this is gonna be difficult for him, especially if he ends up getting married to Cassandra, or anybody else for that matter. Not getting caught cheating is not something that I foresee Don being very good at. Looking at Don's traits, his favorite color is purple. He's a night owl. He's athletic. He's a slob. He's a schmoozer. He's non-committal. He likes R&B music. And he's a diva. I don't know about you, but I think these are pretty spot on for him. I'm especially interested in his non-committal trait because I think that makes it more likely that he's going to leave Cassandra at the altar, which would actually be really interesting because that's never happened in my game before. In all 3 versions of Pleasantview I've ever played, Don has always gotten married to Cassandra. They don't always stay married, but he's always gone through with it. Night Owl's gonna be great for dating. He's definitely athletic and a slob, and schmoozer just makes total sense for him. You'll notice that Don doesn't have a Watcher Book of Faith because I don't see Don as very religious. I don't think he puts much stock in the Watcher. I think he just kind of does what he wants and maybe doesn't think anybody's watching. Now looking at Don's lifetime aspiration benefits, he's not old enough yet to have a secondary aspiration, but I did go ahead and give him the full romance tree, because if he's going to have 10 simultaneous loves, he's definitely going to need that smooth talk to smooth things over when he eventually gets caught. I also gave him the first 2 perks in the needs tree, because I think that having slower bladder and hygiene need decay are going to be very useful when he's out on the town dating. And as a romance sim who went to college, I think he's kind of interested in work. I mean, he did get a job in the medical career, but I don't know that he's in love with it. So I gave him the first perk on the work tree because although I think he enjoys having a job and going out and meeting people, the first perk on the work tree is the life of luxury. No matter how career-oriented a sim may be, vacation days keep their morale up and their head clear. I think Don getting extra vacation days is going to be great for his primary want of going out, meeting people, and falling in love, while being able to keep his job and not constantly skipping work. You'll see that Don already has 1 vacation day, and he's an intern level 4 in the medical career. I did give him a couple of extra skill points to match what he would have had after finishing college. So he's actually really close to being promoted to level 5. He has all his friends, all his mechanical points, all his logic points, and he just needs 1 cleaning point, which, unless he rolls the want for it, might be difficult considering he's such a slob and won't autonomously clean on his own. He also, of course, got his extra want slots and his extra lock slot. He wants to woohoo with both Nina and Dina. We'll see if that actually happens. And finally for Don, let's take a look at his chemistry, because this is going to be very important for him. He likes tidy sims, presumably because he doesn't like to tidy up himself. He likes cultured sims, and he dislikes fatness. I think that goes with his active personality. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed getting to know Don Lothario. We'll be back to play him for his first day in Pleasantview very soon. Be sure to subscribe to see what chaos he unleashes on the neighborhood. Until we meet again, take care.